Talking
Absolutely.
about the Charlotte Hornets, we can talk about this, Jimmy. They announced yesterday that they have
Hmm.
hired Boston Celtics assistant coach Charles Lee as their new head coach. Um, Charles Lee will finish the playoff series with the Celtics, and then he will join the Hornets as their new head coach. The Hornets, as we talked about, had the third finalist for Rookie of the Year in Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, who's a great player but has been injured lately. Those are two very good players. But Jimmy, I was looking at Sporting News and ESPN and some of these ranking the best available coaches, and you have names like Mike Budenholzer and Chris Quinn and JJ Redick and Mike D'Antonio and Mark Jackson and Becky Hammond, right? Nowhere on these lists that I was researching did I see Charles Lee. Did the Hornets make the right choice with Charles Lee?
Well, I don't know if they made the right choice. Time will tell, but obviously they're comfortable with it. They come from a good pedigree in the Boston Celtics and with under Budenholzer with the Atlantic Hawks and Milwaukee Bucks as an assistant. So I, I want to say kudos to the Hornets for not, hiring what they call retreads or head coaches that had positions before, um, and they get rehired or get fired and then rehired, and then
Yeah.
guys seemingly don't get opportunities. So kudos for the Hornets for giving him the opportunity to see what he can do or to show what he could do. But again, his pedigree speaks for itself.
Jimmy,
Um,
what do you think goes into getting a head coach? Like, what do you think as a player the Hornets are thinking? You know, you've got a top rookie in Brandon Miller. You know, you've got a guy on a max contract with LaMelo Ball. What are you as a general manager? What are you thinking? What are you looking for in a coach? You don't need a big name. You need a guy.
so
What would you be looking for if you were in their position?
I think for me, like if I was an active general manager, the thing that I would look for is a manager, an actual team manager, not necessarily a coach. I would expect the head coach to bring in, say, in football terms, an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator,
Yeah.
and he kind of be a hybrid in between, right? But also, I think the thing that goes unnoticed is a manager of personalities. I want a coach who can manage big personalities who are able to, kind of almost psychologically, get guys to buy into the system, to buy into the program, and to get the best out of them while doing so. So I need almost, a guy who, um, like a whisper, like Phil Jackson, who can talk to a Michael Jordan, and have him tone his game down, or at least integrate his game enough to elevate everybody else's. The same with the Kobe Bryant, the same with the Shaquille O'Neal. So that's, I think, would be the main attribute that I look for as a guy who's a manager of personalities.
Yeah, I think that's a great insight, right? It's like, at the professional level, what I'm hearing you say is it's not so much about teaching the players how to play basketball. It's about managing their personalities. I do think though that scheme is important, and just like Phil Jackson, he's a great example, right? He had a scheme.
Hmm.
He got the right guys to fit in the scheme.
Hmm.
But you have to have somebody that can manage the personalities, and you have to have somebody that can put the players in the right spots. You're not going to change what they are as a player, but you
No.
got to take the players you have that your GM gives you and put them in a position to succeed. So the problem is a fan, and I'm the fan here on this show. As the fan, I got great players, and I look at names on this list that I know: Sam Cassell and Mike Budenholzer and Mark Jackson, and that's what I want for my team, right? But I don't really know, to your point, who's going to really go in and do these, manage these, and put these guys in the right spot, manage these personalities. So you're right, time will tell. Charles Lee appears to have experience, has been with Budenholzer, has been with the Celtics, has been, involved in the league for a while. So, they've done their due diligence, and we'll see if it plays out, but kind of a surprise, right? So
Absolutely.
a surprise pickup, but, they're the Hornets. So let's find out how that goes.